Hello, I'm Sade and I am a terracotta and plant pot addict.
You'll be the first one, I'll be the last, babe. Just say what's on your mind again and again. And that's too long, but I can promise. Keep on going, 'cause we're almost home.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I've uploaded, I know, but we have got quite a good video today. Today we are talking all things garden. We have been super busy in the garden, and honestly it takes up so much time that I barely get enough time to do like editing and stuff on the side. Over the last couple of months we have topped the trees in the garden. Some of them were over 30 foot tall. It made such a huge difference and it lets so much more sunlight into our small space garden now, which we really appreciate. We have done lots of weeding. It feels like that is never ending, but it needs to be done and there is so much more to do. I've been getting inspired over on Pinterest. I have been absolutely loving the terracotta pots, kind of like Mediterranean. It almost gives me French vibes as well. I just feel like this would be in a very quaint little French garden, these sorts of themes with the terracotta pots, lots of lavender, lots of purples, lots of whites, little splashes of pink there as well. That has been giving me major inspiration, so I have been on the hunt to try and find hundreds of pots, mainly terracotta ones, that I can bring this vision to life. But if I'm gonna achieve this in the garden over summer so that we can enjoy it with friends and family, I need to do a lot of the work now, and it's currently mid-May. Okay, we're outside in the garden. We're having another garden day. I'm going to run you through what we've been to get this morning. So we went to Wilko at first, which in my opinion is one of the best places to go for any gardening stuff. They had 4 for £6 or £2 each of these hanging basket plants. Well, they're just normal plants, annuals, but we're going to put them in some baskets today. So we've got lobelias, petunias, French marigolds, and more lobelias. I got the marigolds because apparently they're really good to put next to tomatoes with basil, and it helps to protect the tomatoes. The theme for the garden this year is purple, white with a little hint of pink. So we've picked up some gypsophilia, also known as baby's breath, convallaria, lily of the valley, which looks so pretty, gladiolus, lupinus whites, lupins, and we've also picked up some, they look like peonies, but they're called Panoia Sarah Bernhardt's, and they're all bulbs at the minute, so they'll take a little while to come through, but the good thing is you can plant them now and they'll all flower between June and August to September, June, July, and they'll come back next year, Mum says, which is nice. Then we also picked up some troughs. Wilko had like 30% off all their gardening stuff, so I picked these up because I thought it'd be really nice for either the lavenders or like a mixture with some purple and whites, or we could also use these to house some of my herbs now that they've kind of established themselves. And what I was thinking was I might spray these with my Rust-Oleum terracotta spray paint, or it's like you can get textured spray paints just to make them look a little bit more authentic, and they'll kind of match the real terracottas rather than sticking out like plastic pots, but they look nice. For the baskets that we're doing, so Mum picked me these up. She had them in her greenhouse, I think. We're going to just give it a wash down. We picked up some cocoa liner, and this one comes in one big square or one big rectangle, and you can cut it to size because they didn't have any that fit our baskets perfectly, and that was only a £5. Then I also picked up some bone meal and some perlite. Now I've been doing some research. Perlite is really good as, I think it's a peat alternative. Peat's not very good for the environment, so you should try to buy peat-free compost, and you can use the perlite to retain water. So as you can see, the perlite is this white stuff, and that's going to help your flowers thrive. Bone meal is also really good for root growth, and just it's basically food, so you should always try and put like a big spoonful of that before you directly plant your plant. Then also got this is actually a gravel tray, it seems, so you put your plants on top of gravel, but I'm just going to use it as a bit of a potting tray. I need to get a proper one, but I'm sick of getting soil everywhere, so I'm going to use this to contain soil as I move things over. These are all from Wilko. This pot was £1.25 down from, I think they had 30% off, so it must have been about £2, and all of these bases were £1. I've searched high and low. I keep trying to get these on like Facebook Marketplace, trying to get them for cheap. Turns out Wilko have got them. And then we went into Poundland quickly, and I picked up a gardening caddy so I can put all of my tools in here and carry them around, which is really helpful. This was £4. I also picked up a universal grow bag, which I'm going to dump some potatoes in because I accidentally chitted some potatoes in the cupboard. So I'm going to put this just in the garden, full of soil, and just throw the potatoes in the bottom and they should hopefully grow. Then I also picked up this, which is a cute little bucket, but it's mainly, I'm just going to use it as a pot for inside the house, just to have some more greenery in the house. And this was £1.50, but I really liked the colour of it. Mum's just deadheading all of our pink kisses. These are dianthus, and then we've also got the lavender. These have been in the greenhouse for a while and they've been surviving because I've been watering them, but they need to come out now. So the weather's not very good, but we're just going to get on and put them into all of the existing pots. Before we get the soil out, let's put them all into the pots and figure out a nice design. Yeah, you know? So we'll do like... Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean, babe? Do you know what I mean, mate? Yeah, so put that one in there. I love that. Yes, that'll be really nice when it's done. Yeah. And we just have that lavender in that one.
This was my idea.
Lavender in there. I have been watching so many videos on gardening over the last few days. I feel like I've learned so much, but I know there's so much more to learn. I'm going to cut the roots of some of the plants. I'm going to cut a third of the way up whatever is in the soil. So for example, this plant here, then can you see all of the roots? Just because they look like that doesn't necessarily mean that they're actually bad as well. Oh, there's a big worm in this one. Oh God. But you cut like a third of the way up the plant. You don't go ever more than halfway above. If you do, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to die. It might start to wilt and look a bit worse for wear, but by cutting the base off, it's something to do with like they're old roots. They've been there for a long time. They're thick, they're old, they're just tired. So you cut the base off, room for new ones to grow, and then that's where all the energy comes from. So I'm basically going to cut the base off of all of my plants and see how they go. Hopefully it works out because I've spent a lot of money on these. And I've also got my little potting tray now, so I can do everything tidily in here. Let me be careful of that worm. Where's that worm gone? Hello mate, where are you? Oh, he's at the bottom, that's fine. Worms grow back on themselves anyway, don't they? Yeah, so that's what it looks like underneath, and you would probably think that you would kill the plant, but you won't. My lavenders are looking a little bit worse for wear because I left them in the greenhouse for a little bit too long. They got a bit dusty, but we've pruned them and they'll be fine. We just need some sunshine now. Mum and I just had to go to Home Bargains again. We ran out of compost and we needed to pick up some more pots, and we ended up buying more flowers too. Quick haul. 5 bags of multi-purpose. Then there was some topsoil on sale, and I was saying to Mum, I don't really know what topsoil does, so I decided to buy this because it was £1.75. Beautiful, beautiful plants here. This is some gypsophilia, which is already sprung, but I just couldn't leave it. Emeria pink. So pretty. It's all very whimsical. We got 2 of those. We also got a tiny little pot of felicitara blue daisy, which is so pretty. Love this muted blue colour. Nemesia wisely vanilla, which again, it's all very whimsical. It's all very like airy fairy fluffy sort of vibes. Did get 2. We left something in the car. We also did get a massive rhododendron plant, which was like a gorgeous purple colour, and 2 more pots because we've run out of pots. It's looking really nice though. But something exciting, we held out. We didn't go to McDonald's because I knew that I had tomato soup at home. I've come to my little greenhouse. I'm going to pluck some basil. Here's our little basil leaves on top of the tomato. I didn't know whether I should like cut them up or just put it like that, but this was a bit more pretty. And Mum's making some buttered bread. Here's our lunch. Ignore the garden nails again. But my nails are growing, which is nice.
This big black cloud is coming down. Fallen angels all around. A warm breeze from the subway underground. The snow is falling heavily over town. Walking backwards in the snow.
gonna pot some of my chitted potatoes in this grow bag. This was from Poundland and it was £1.50 or something like that. It's funny how nothing is actually a pound in Poundland these days, but apparently potatoes grow in anything. They grow really, really well, so I'm just going to bung a load of compost about halfway up the bag, chuck the potatoes in, and then once they start to sprout and come through again in a few weeks, I guess, I'll top it off with more compost. I filled it probably a third of the way with normal compost. I don't know if I need to put any particular feed or anything in. I'll Google it later and see if I can give it some feed maybe tomorrow, but for now I'm just going to take some of my chitted potatoes, chuck them inside, and as long as they're underneath like that, they should be okay. I don't know if I should be putting all of these in or just...
Honestly, if you just put them in, they'll grow.
But I think you're meant to plant them quite far from each other, like if you're doing them in a garden. Leave that one out, that one looks a bit dodgy. And then I guess I might put some more compost on top, to be honest. I've just drilled holes in the bottom of this whilst Mum held it over, and look at all the water pouring out of the bottom of it. This doesn't have any holes underneath because you're meant to actually put a pot inside this, but I didn't realise that. Drilling some holes in the bottom now and you'll see how much water pours out of it.
That was water.
That is soaked. That's so bad.
Yep.
How on earth has this survived?
Just put that there to hold it straight until we plant it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's very wobbly. How has that got so...
I don't know how they've survived, Shannon.
I really don't know.
They're Mediterranean plants, but they do acclimatise.
Because even I've pruned them so much. I've pruned them twice this year, and they've gotten so bushy because they definitely weren't that bushy before. But I can't believe how they've survived being waterlogged.
Look how much that one's dried.
That's
Look
crazy.
how much that soil is different to that soil now.
Yeah, that's so
It's
different.
absolutely crazy.
Look at that compared to that. So we'll leave these out overnight. I'm also going to move them over there so they start to get a bit more sun, because this isn't really the sun trap spot.
I can't figure out where it goes, but if I try, I can make it home. And if I stand by what I know is real, not wander off on some byway, I should be fine. I'll be home to stay.
So I absolutely love how the garden was starting to come together. We've got lots of lavender, little pops of white, and then we've got the pink as well. Alongside the greenhouse, it's all just feeling and looking very perfect. However, I need it on a bigger scale. We need more, and with more usually comes more cost, and I wanted to keep costs quite low considering this is just a kind of like temporary garden situation, but as a temporary fix, trying to make it feel like a space that we want to sit in and socialize in and host in. Did want to carry on getting loads of pots, but I needed to turn my attention to Facebook Marketplace so that I could try and grab some for a really low price or even free. And I do think I managed that. First things first, the flower baskets hanging outside the front of the garden. I am so pleased with these. They're really coming into their own. You can see that they're starting to droop and cascade over the sides of the baskets, and they're really starting to flourish and plump out. I have been making sure to water every single day because they do get some direct sunlight. Otherwise they would just die, because they don't sit in soil in the garden, so this is all they have. So all the nutrients, all of the water that they have, that is all they've got to grow. So I've been making sure to water them, and they've really flourished. I can't wait for another couple of weeks to see what they look like again. I've been that person that comes out every single morning dead excited to water their plants, and I genuinely talk to them, but I mean, how could you not when they look like this? Look how beautiful they all look. I'm so happy with them. So these are about 10 days now. They've been sitting in their pots. They are really enjoying them actually, and they look fantastic. So much healthier than when I was leaving them in the greenhouse. Don't do that. They need sun, direct sunlight. So you would have seen anyway, but we have got all of our plants in their little pots. They all look fantastic. I make sure to water them every day. I haven't watered them since last night. I did it last night, but they all look pretty good. None of them have like kind of died on themselves. I'm making sure to deadhead. I do need to get in here and take this one out. The little window baskets as well, they're starting to get much bulkier. Can you see? They were kind of like really small little plants, and they've actually bulked up a lot faster than I thought they would. And maybe that's just because here on this side of the house they get direct sunlight from morning until about, what's the time now? It's nearly 1, and they've still got a bit of sunshine. They get a good like 6 hours of sunshine, so that's probably why these are doing so well. And I love them, they're fantastic. This lawn, Rob scarified it, and today's task is to topsoil. And then can you see like we've got these big holes in the lawn? We need to like kind of fill those out, lay it all flat so that it's kind of a little bit smoother, so it's not so bumpy when we try and walk on it in the summer. And then we'll seed, and hopefully that will take really, really well. I have got a few random little pots over here that need repotting today, and also I've started to put all of my vegetables into their own little troughs. I think these are called troughs or trugs. And these lettuces are doing so well. Lettuces, they're doing so well. These, I thought these were goners. These are campanulas. Thought they were goners, but they're starting to come back. I snipped them all the way back, and they're starting to come through. These are marigolds, which again, they look like they're starting to come through. They're the little buds. We've got, these were bulbs. These were iris bulbs that I just shoved in some pots so that they didn't die. They were 50p from B&Q, and they're all starting to come through and germinate now. Can you see? They're doing really well. I've got my roses as well, which need repotting today. I've got a peony in this big pot, which I don't think we'll see for a little while. And then this one, I'm so excited. These are potatoes. So I think I showed you guys that I planted a load of potatoes that were sitting in our cupboards, and they'd chitted because we hadn't used them. Chitted means, you know, when they start growing all of the roots out of themselves. And I just threw them in this grow bag that I got from Poundland, and you can see the growth is crazy. So I think you can see all of like the roots and stuff. I think I need to put more soil down. I think that's what I read. I need to Google it, but I'm going to put another layer of soil to cover them, and then they keep growing through again, and then basically they'll create like loads of leaves, and eventually potatoes will be grown underneath. But when people say potatoes grow anywhere, they grow anywhere. Greenhouse is still looking pretty greenhousey. I have noticed that my herbs maybe aren't doing amazingly. I put some grit on top of the soil to try and retain moisture, but yeah, they're starting to go a bit yellow, and I think that's maybe because they don't have direct sunlight. So one thing that I need to do today is try and get them in some troughs so that they can live outside now, because I want them to do well. This has gotten really big. This is an orange pepper plant that's gotten huge. And yeah, same over here. We've started getting some more tomatoes again. They're starting to turn red. We've got more veggies down there. And then what I wanted to show you is this section. Hello, I'm Sade, and I am a terracotta and plant pot addict. I have a problem, a severe problem. It is actually a severe problem. I've now said to Rob, okay, I know that I've got too many now, and I'm genuinely going to stop looking for them on Facebook Marketplace. But I have managed to get all of these from Facebook Marketplace for about £32, all of this stuff here. So they've come from different Facebook Marketplace sales. Some of them have been free, some of them were bulks of a few pots for like 12 quid. These ones that you see at the back that are all the same style, they were all for £30, along with a couple of these little green glazed ones. And then all these troughs and stuff I managed to pick up today from Facebook Place for free. So we have got an abundance of pots, but I'm very happy because it means I'm going to be able to use these pots to fill out all of the blank spaces around the corners of the garden and make everywhere look a lot more appealing, because this side looks very friendly and warm and welcoming, and it's going to look great when they all start to really come into themselves and bulk out and bush out. But this side of the garden still feels really dull. We do still have a lot of weeding to do, but it'll be nice to get some pots and plants over there. I also got this little bistro table and chairs from Dunelm. I will link that down below. It's so nice. It's nice to just sit out here with my little laptop, but I think again, once I've got some little plant pots and stuff around, it'll feel much more cozy. And yeah, I even got a free watering can from Facebook Marketplace, so it's lovely. Really, really happy with the progress. Now Rob and I are going to head out to Home Bargains because I need a lot of compost to fill a lot of these plant pots. I really want to focus on doing my vegetable troughs today so that they can basically start to grow and flourish and come into their own. And I also what else was I doing today? And I also need to get a few more little plants just to pretty up that side of the garden as I showed you. And one thing that I really want to do, but we're probably not going to get time today, it might have to be a job for me tomorrow, I'm going to build my own planters. I've been saying it for weeks now. I even came up with a little drawing the other week, and I just haven't gotten around to it, but I saw some of the veg troughs or veg trug brand one today, and I fell in love again. So my mission this week is to build a veg trug so that I can put my vegetables in there. Just riding front seat with all my plants. We've been to Home Bargains, picked up 2 hydrangea plants, a small rose tree that was on sale, and then there's this tiny little fish, they sell like fish, fishing rods and fish tackle and stuff, and out the front he had loads of little plants. I don't know if you can see them back here. So I spent another tenner on those, and we've got lots of compost as well. So it's now 2 o'clock. I'm gonna get home, get my gardening gloves on, and start to put all of these into bigger pots. And the main thing that I'm gonna focus on is getting my vegetables in some of the troughs. Is that what they're called? Troughs?
Trough.
Trough.
Yeah, like tough in it at the GH.
Oh, it's not a trough. It's a trough. Get them in some of the plastic troughs that I got from Facebook for free today. One thing that I'm struggling to get though at the minute is 600mm square patio slabs. I've tried to find them on Facebook. The reason that I keep finding things on Facebook, by the way, instead of buying stuff outright, is because it's our first year in the house. We want to make the garden feel like nice enough to sit in, but it's going to get landscaped in the coming years, but it's not a priority right now. So I don't want to spend money on doing the garden out when it's going to end up changing again in the future. I'd rather try and buy things that are a little bit cheaper, can upcycle things, reuse things that people have used in the past and they're getting rid of, and keep costs down for us as well, but create a little environment that we can go in and entertain in and enjoy in the summertime. So yeah, trying to find some slabs from Facebook for cheap, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. So we probably will have to end up buying a few. Probably we need about 30, having to buy them brand new from B&Q or wherever we can get a good deal from. There's still so much more that we need to do, but it has been really nice getting out and starting to create that Pinterest inspired theme that I'm going for. I also have spent so much money. I did manage to get a lot of the pots for free or at really good budgets, but the price of compost and topsoil and plants, like, they all really add up. So I'm making sure to look after them and watering them every single day. And if you want to see how that all looks over the next couple of months, then make sure to subscribe to the channels that you can see. I'm going to make sure to get out there and carry on with this garden journey and show you what it looks like in a couple of months time. And I'm feeling really green fingered, so I'm hopefully going to be able to bring along some of those vegetables that I'm trying to grow over into the winter months and learn how to dehydrate bulbs so that I can use them again next year as well. It's all very technical, but yeah, make sure to subscribe. Now, to get the garden really summertime fine, we do need to address the elephant in the room, and that is our very yellow and patchy grass. It's not too bad, but it's not the caliber that we want to set it for when we have people coming around for barbecues and to chill in the garden, and just for us really. I am hoping to get some sun loungers out there and get all of our patio furniture back out there once we sort out the patio. So we need to bring this lawn back to life. We really should have done it way back in the autumn, but we didn't know. It's fine. It just means we're not going to have the perfect grass lawn for another 2 months ish. Now this is Rob's job. Rob has been trying to bring this lawn back to life, and he has done some research into scarifying and aerating. Scarifying is the process of ripping up all of the moss and dead grass, I think you would call it thatch, from the top of the lawn, which stops the sun being able to penetrate through to the soil, and it stops the oxygen getting into the soil as well. It picked up so much. It filled 2 brown bins, 2 of them. We really didn't think it was going to be that much, so I totally recommend this as part of the process, because there's obviously a lot of dead matter on top of the grass that we don't even realise. Then we watered down the grass, and then 3 days later we decided to aerate it. Now aerating is the process of digging little holes into the soil, which helps to aerate, and it brings oxygen down into the soil, and that's what helps the grass to then thrive. That takes a lot of effort as well. You can do this manually. I've seen shoes that you can get which have spikes on the end, or you can get like a garden fork which has sharp cylinders on the end that actually take out like bigger chunks, and then you can fill it all with topsoil, which is what we did, but we just had a motor to do this instead. We then watered it all down, put topsoil, then put the garden grass seeds. So this is going to help to germinate and create new grass to fill in all of those bold patches, because you do need seed to do this, and then water it again. And we have made sure to keep watering that every single day, just for probably 15 minutes on each patch. And it's currently day 3. The pigeons are very much enjoying the seeds, which is really annoying. So we're probably going to end up with a lot of patches that we need to redo. It looks pretty bad. It's gonna be worse before it gets better, as they say. The seeds take about 7 to 14 days to germinate, and then they take about 6 to 8 weeks to establish themselves and really firmly plant their roots, so that you can actually walk across the garden and start to mow it and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what we've been doing with the garden so far. I have found a couple of people on Facebook that are getting rid of their slabs, but they're so heavy, I need a truck. So it is on my list this week to try and get my car sorted, because I really am trying to get a pickup truck to help me with big projects like this. Weather has turned a little bit miserable again. We had a lot of sun for a good weekend. It was good 3 or 4 days. We had some great sun over the bank holiday weekend. It's now grey and it has started raining again. We're gonna have to work with that, but yeah, there's plenty of weeding to do. We then need to rip up all of that old patio, smooth it out again because it's very bumpy, lay it down with the new slabs that we will finally source. Also thinking of painting or lime washing the brick wall that is facing into our garden. I think it could give like a really nice soft Mediterranean feel, which again could go really nicely like all of the Pinterest boards that I've been looking at with all of the terracotta and all of the plants. If you like the video, please do thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. Hit the notification bell so that you don't miss when I upload once in a blue moon, and I will see you in the next one. Take care guys, lots of love, bye. Mwah.